What is going on, everyone, and welcome back to Potty Plants Entertainment. My name is Chris, and in case you don't know, I review movies and I rank them on a scale of 0 to 100 in increments of 5. Now, before I begin, I just want to say it is the 4th of July. I can't block out the noise, so if you hear fireworks, just make it a part of the aesthetic of the video, because it's the 4th of July. Although you're getting this after midnight, so it's not going to be July 5th when you get this, but I'm recording this on July 4th. But happy Independence Day to all my fellow Americans. And today we celebrate the day where we told Great Britain that they can shove it. And it's a great, glorious day. Okay, alright. So I had the microphone pointed the wrong way. That's okay. Alright, so today we are talking about the movie to watch on the 4th of July, Independence Day '94. Also, Pete the shirt. My brother bought this back for me from Hawaii because he went to Hawaii, and I would like to go to Hawaii. It seems very nice, so shout out to him. Okay, let's get into this one. Independence Day came out in 1996, and it stars Will Smith, Jeff Goldblum, Bill Pullman, Randy Quaid, and Judd Hirsch, and it was directed by Roland Emmerich. And this movie is pretty straightforward. There's an alien invasion, and the president, a fighter pilot, and a scientist, computer whiz guy are out to stop it. Pretty straightforward. Yeah, this was a big movie when it came out. At the time, it was the second highest grossing movie of all time, right behind Jurassic Park, which oddly both starred Jeff Goldblum. So that's pretty cool. At the time, he was in the highest and the second highest grossing movies of all time. This movie was huge. I unfortunately was not alive yet when this movie came out. I'm very disappointed about that. But a lot of people did get to go see it, and it made a butt ton of money. Over 800 mil, and in the 20th century, that was a lot. Like nowadays, big movies, they can make $1 billion. Like they'll reach that number. But it's still hard today. But like, you know, every Star Wars movie is gonna hit that number, as long as it's not one of the side movies. Because I don't think Solo did. I don't think Rogue One did either. But anyway, I'm just saying, it's a lot easier to get $1 billion now than it was then. And even though they didn't quite get $1 billion in Jurassic Park, I don't think that movie got quite $1 billion. Came pretty close. And at the time, that was really impressive. So, in Jurassic Park. Okay. I love this movie. The first time I saw it, I didn't like it. And I'll explain why. And I still understand why I didn't like it the first time I saw it. It wasn't because of it, like, any, like, the obvious issues with the film. It was simply because I felt like Will Smith didn't have enough screen time. He's supposed to be the main character of the film, and I'm pretty sure that Bill Pullman has more screen time than he does. And rewatching this movie, I realized that it's not really just Will Smith that's the main character. It's him, Jeff Goldblum, and Bill Pullman, and this movie is told through all three of those characters rather than just having one central character with the other two to complement it. It's about all three of them. Like, I remember like watching the scene where Bill Pullman talks to the alien through the glass, and I was just thinking, why isn't this Will Smith? Isn't this supposed to be his movie? Why does he not get this moment? And that was really irritating to me. And by the time the movie was over, I was just so fed up with it, because I was so mad that Will Smith wasn't the main central focus, even though he was advertised to be. He doesn't even come into the movie until over 20 minutes into it. So, but rewatching it, I realized he gets more screen time than I originally thought, and that the other two are just as important to this narrative as him. And I didn't really get that. But rewatching it, I love this movie. Let's talk about it. So, for one thing, this movie has one-liners. And if you know anything about me, you know I love movies with one-liners. Welcome to Earth. Now that's what I call a close encounter. And the words of my generation, up yours. Hello, boys. I'm back. A lot of great one-liners in this movie. It's a very quotable movie, and movies that are quotable are always better because the dialogue, that just means the dialogue is fun. And it's fun to rehearse, to recite it and remember it. Like that's one of the things that makes a movie memorable. And we don't really get a lot of very many quotable movies anymore, unfortunately. That's why it kind of sucks that that Iron Man had to die, because he was like the only quotable character we had around anymore. And you know, with it means get lost, Squidward, like, and it's just all that, it's gone now. So, and you don't really get this much anymore. That's unfortunate. The practical effects are great. This movie does have some digital effects, and the special effects in this movie are fantastic, and it even won the Academy Award for the special effects that year, and it deserves it. Not everything quite holds up. Some of it looks a little outdated, but for the most part, it looks better than the CGI crap we get today. They have such a good blend of digital and practical effects, a lot of miniature uses, all the exploding buildings and the jets and the UFOs, a lot of miniatures used there, and it all looks so good. And it's just all the more better for it because it's real, and there's love and passion that went into that. There's no love in CGI, and I hate CGI. The music is really good. Disaster films used to have like these really great soundtracks like this and Armageddon. The music just always pumped you up and you were like, this is great. You don't get that from disaster movies anymore, and that's really unfortunate. Gosh, man. They just don't make movies like this anymore, and it sucks, man, because this is great. The cast is great. It's perfectly casted. Everyone in this movie is on their A game, and they do a great job. They all work really well together. It's a funny movie, especially through Will Smith. Will Smith is one of the most charismatic actors of all time, and he brings all that charisma here. Jeff Goldblum is here with all his Goldblum mannerisms. Yes. He even repeats a line from Jurassic Park. Must go faster. Must go faster. It's fun and exciting. The action is stupendous. It's one of those get up and stand up out of your chair and cheer movies. I'm sure a lot of people were doing that in the theater back in the day. I'm sure they were. A lot of people were cheering when I went to go see No Way Home, and I'm sure this movie was no different. It does a disaster genre smartly. It's not like Roland Emmerich's newest film was Moonfall. And yeah, I did enjoy that movie because it did have a bit of a charm to it. But at the same time, it's like even he's sort of forgotten how to smartly do a disaster movie. And I do think Moonfall was probably... I don't think it was his worst film. I liked it better than some of his other films and some of the other disaster films out there. It's just that it doesn't have the same charm as this movie, and it's even dumber than this movie somehow. See, but you can watch my review for Moonfall. I did do a review for it on my channel. The alien designs, they're kind of like generic, but not as generic as the aliens in Captain Marvel, that's for sure. They look really cool, and I really like them. I know they originally had these two different concepts, and Roland Emmerich couldn't pick between them, so he took one of them and he made it the protective armor for the other design, and that's really, really cool. Let's see, I love the details in this movie. When the movie starts, you hear "It's the End of the World as We Know It." That's a great song, and it works perfectly with this. It's a nice little thing that they did there. When the movie starts, you see the moon, you see the footprints on the moon, and the UFO that's coming by, it shakes it, and so it erases the moon prints. And that's just to go to show they're here to wipe us out and erase us even at our highest achievements. And I just think that's a nice little thing that they did there. Also, the helicopter in front of this exploding White House. When the White House explodes, there's a helicopter that passes in front of it that gets caught up in the explosion. They didn't have to do that, but it's all the more better for it. It shows that there was love and care that went into that. Also, the tension when the invasion starts, when all these UFOs are coming in over New York City and everything, it's just the way it's built up and the music and the way that it's directed, it just, you feel that tension. And it really works. Like, you sit there and you're like, oh crap, this is really happening, and you care and you're into it. The imagery is great. I love the way the UFOs look over the cities. Really, really great, stunning things to look. It's just, you're watching. I've never seen this in theaters, but I would love to. I can only imagine sitting there seeing these giant UFOs over New York City and just be like, whoa. Like, that in theaters, that must look so cool. Also, I love the president's speech. It's one of the best movie speeches and one of the most iconic movie speeches of all time. Today, we celebrate our Independence Day. Like, it's very patriotic, and it's just, I love that patriotic vibe that you get from movies. I love it when movies are just like, yeah, America. That's what's up. I love that stuff. Some people think that's too much. I don't. I love that. I eat that patriotic stuff up. That, to me, is just, I love that so much. I also love, this isn't just a disaster film. It is very character focused. And that's really, when you have a movie that's about something big, but the main focus is on the characters, it's better that way. The same thing for Jurassic Park and Jaws. Yes, they're about monsters, but they're also very character driven by these fantastic characters. And that's what makes those movies great. Independence Day is no exception. Obviously, the characters aren't as iconic as the ones from Jurassic Park and Jaws. I'm not saying they are, but it does make a very worthy attempt at that. I like the characters. They're all great. I love their relationships. I love the relationship that Jeff Goldblum has with his father, played by Judd Hirsch in this movie. They have really good chemistry, and I totally bought in their relationship. And they were probably my favorite relationship in the whole film. And I like how it shows other countries' reactions to the invasion and the victory. It doesn't do enough to really amplify that this is a worldwide invasion because it's so focused on America, but it does show you people from different cultures all over the world reacting to these ships coming in, and at the end of the movie when the ships are now destroyed. All right, let's get into my cons because I do have some. For one thing, like I said, I don't think there's quite enough Will Smith here. There definitely, like I said, there's definitely more than I realized when I first watched the movie, but it takes way too long to introduce his character. And it's just, I feel like it would have been nice if he was there in the scene when the president's talking to the alien through the glass. I really feel like he should have been there for that scene. And it just feels like it undermined him a little bit. Also, there's way too many characters in this movie, and there doesn't need to be as many as there are. So at the end of the movie, there's like the control room, right? Where like the final like jet assault on the spaceship. And I'm like, there's like random people in there, like survivors, like refugees, and I'm like, why are they in here? Why are they allowed in there? It's also a little bit corny at times, and Will Smith knocks out the alien by punching its armor. Like, he goes up to the ship, and of course he's like screaming like, I got you, and it's great because it's Will Smith, and Will Smith makes all that freaking fantastic. And then he punches it, and he's like, welcome to Earth, and it's awesome. But if you stop and think about it, it doesn't make any sense because he punched its armor, not the alien, so how he knocked it out makes no sense. But it's Independence Day, man. I love Independence Day. Happy Independence Day to you, and I'm going to give Independence Day a 90. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe to Potty Player Entertainment for more. Hit the like button. Leave me reviews, suggestions in the comments down below. Follow me on Instagram at Potty Player Entertainment for channel updates and other stuff. And TikTok as well. I do stuff there. And I know I said Lightyear would be my next review. That's coming very soon. Summer Marvel is coming back. All of it's coming very soon. Thank you for watching. Much love. Happy Independence Day. And drive sober.